Imagine if I told you that the vast majority of your wealth, think 80% or more, actually comes from just a small fraction of your efforts, maybe around 20%. This isn't some vague motivational concept. It's called the Pareto Principle, or more commonly, the 80-20 rule. And in the context of building wealth, it's one of the most transformative insights you can adopt. The 80-20 rule, named after economist Vilfredo Pareto, originally described how 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the population. But it didn't take long before people began to see how this principle applied everywhere. In business, health, relationships, and yes, even your bank account. The magic of this principle lies in how it shows us that not all tasks, investments, or activities are equal. In fact, some things produce an outsized impact on our results, while others eat up time, energy, and resources, barely moving the needle. Let's start by applying this to the world of personal finance. If you look closely at the ways people make money, you'll quickly see that most of it doesn't come from a long list of diversified efforts. For the wealthy, 80% of their wealth might come from just a few investments, a few client relationships, or even a single business venture that exploded in value. For example, a high net worth individual may have multiple income streams, but a huge chunk of their wealth could still stem from just one business or a strategic stock market play that took off. The key here is realizing that wealth is not necessarily about working harder or doing more. It's about doing more of the right things. So, when you think of wealth building, don't just think in terms of adding income sources or padding out your portfolio with whatever you can afford. Instead, think about how to apply the 80-20 rule to identify where your high-impact areas are. Why busy doesn't mean wealthy. One of the biggest misconceptions about success, especially in our work-obsessed culture, is that being busy equals being productive, and being productive equals making money. But ask any successful entrepreneur or investor, and they'll tell you that this isn't the case. Think of it like this. You could spend hours on end organizing your finances, reading every single market trend, and following every new investment opportunity. But if these efforts don't lead to substantial gains, they're just noise. Now, imagine you flip that around and focus solely on the activities that bring in the most results. This could mean anything from concentrating on your most profitable investments to deepening relationships with your top clients, or even refining the specific skill that directly contributes to your income. You don't need a long list of activities, you need a small list of highly impactful ones. That's the essence of the 80-20 rule in action. Take Warren Buffett as an example. One of the richest people on the planet, Buffett attributes a substantial portion of his wealth to a select few investments that grew over time. Instead of spreading his resources thin by investing in hundreds of companies, Buffett looks for businesses with strong fundamentals, invests heavily, and holds for the long term. This is classic 80-20 thinking. He directs his attention to high-value opportunities, which yield high-value returns. How to identify your 20%? So, how can you spot the 20% of actions that are going to generate 80% of your wealth? Here's the first step. Look at your current income sources and evaluate which ones are generating the most money with the least effort or risk. Whether you're working a day job, running a side hustle, investing, or freelancing, track where the bulk of your income is coming from and how much time or energy you're putting into those sources. Often, you'll find a surprising pattern. One or two income streams produce most of your wealth, while others seem to require endless input with little output. Maybe it's a business relationship that consistently brings in high-paying projects. Or perhaps there's a specific skill you have that allows you to demand higher fees. By identifying these key contributors to your income, you'll quickly see what's worth doubling down on, and what you can start ignoring or delegating. An effective way to do this is by tracking the time and effort you spend on each activity against the income it produces. Let's say you're a freelancer with 5 different clients. You might find that 2 of those clients make up 80% of your revenue, while the other 3 barely cover your time. What's the lesson here? Consider investing more in those top clients, offer additional services, prioritize their projects, or increase your rates. This isn't just smart time management, it's strategic wealth building. You're channeling your resources where they'll yield the highest returns, instead of spreading them thin across low-impact activities. Cut the low-impact activities. To truly embrace the 80/20 rule, you have to be willing to let go of activities that aren't serving you financially. This might be challenging at first because these activities often feel productive. Think of tasks like endless networking events, trying to learn every market trend, or taking on side gigs that barely break even. These things might keep you busy, but they rarely lead to lasting wealth. Instead, consider streamlining your focus and removing these distractions. It's not about doing more, it's about creating space for the high-value tasks that actually generate wealth. By cutting out the noise, you free up both mental and physical energy, making room for more of what works. This doesn't mean you'll never try new things or take risks. Rather, you're making a deliberate choice to focus your efforts on actions with the most potential for returns. And when you do this, something remarkable happens. You become more efficient and more effective at building wealth. Your focus sharpens, and instead of getting pulled in a million directions, you're zeroed in on just a few high-impact areas. Leverage passive income streams in your 20%. Applying the 80/20 rule also means thinking strategically about where passive income can play a role in your wealth. Passive income is the holy grail of wealth building because it allows you to earn money without constantly trading time for it. And for many wealthy people, a small number of passive income sources often make up the majority of their earnings. If you look at how the wealthy build their assets, you'll see that rental properties, dividend stocks, or business partnerships that yield residual income all play a big role. The key is to identify where you can set up passive income streams within your own 20% high-impact activities. Are there investments you could be making that would pay off handsomely over time? Could you start building an online product that continues to bring in revenue after the initial work is done? The 80/20 rule isn't just about current income, it's about building income sources that keep paying you down the line, creating a lasting wealth foundation. Passive income doesn't happen overnight, but by setting up even one or two sources, you can move closer to financial freedom without adding more to your daily to-do list. Adopt a minimalist financial strategy. The 80/20 rule aligns beautifully with minimalism, and not just in terms of lifestyle. A minimalist approach to wealth building means focusing on fewer, high-quality financial strategies instead of a haphazard mix of investments, side hustles, and business ventures. Minimalism in wealth is all about simplification. Fewer accounts to manage, fewer investments to worry about, and fewer distractions from your financial goals. When you adopt a minimalist financial approach, you streamline your finances to focus on high-return activities. This might mean consolidating your investments to focus on a few index funds or allocating most of your resources to a small portfolio of rental properties instead of trying to invest in every new asset class you hear about. With fewer financial balls in the air, you can give your full attention to maximizing the value of what you have. Take a minimalist look at your financial life and ask yourself, what can I eliminate or reduce? By letting go of extra accounts, trimming down to fewer income sources, and honing in on a small number of strategic investments, you're setting yourself up for clearer, more impactful decision-making. And this isn't just about reducing stress, it's about reducing complexity so that your wealth-building efforts have the best chance of success. Master the art of deep work. One of the greatest advantages of applying the 80/20 rule is that it lets you concentrate deeply on the few things that truly matter. This is often referred to as deep work, a concept made popular by author Cal Newport, who explains that uninterrupted, focused work on high-value tasks is where real productivity and success happen. When it comes to wealth building, deep work could mean focusing intently on developing a high-income skill, like coding or sales, or mastering the art of investing in a particular market, like real estate. Instead of trying to be everywhere and do everything, you're devoting undivided attention to a select few pursuits. This creates a compounding effect. As you get better at these high-impact tasks, your financial returns improve even further, setting off a positive cycle of growth and mastery. If you're building a business, deep work might involve setting aside dedicated hours for strategic planning, learning the ins and outs of your industry, or negotiating with high-value clients. When you eliminate distractions and focus deeply, you become far more capable of identifying opportunities others might miss, and you make better, more profitable decisions. Automate and delegate. The 80/20 rule teaches us that not all tasks deserve our attention, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't get done. When building wealth, automation and delegation are two powerful tools for amplifying your 20% impact without diluting your focus. Automation lets you put parts of your financial life on autopilot. For example, you can automate contributions to an investment account, schedule regular portfolio reviews, or set up a system for paying bills and expenses. This frees up mental energy while keeping your finances in motion. Delegation works similarly but with a focus on leveraging the expertise of others. If managing your investments isn't your strong suit, consider working with a financial advisor. If you're scaling a business, find people you trust to handle administrative tasks or marketing. By outsourcing low-impact activities, you're not only freeing yourself to focus on high-impact ones, but you're also allowing specialists to take care of tasks they can handle more efficiently than you. Take consistent, strategic action. With the 80-20th rule in mind, you're not aiming for perfection or instant wealth. Instead, you're aiming for consistent, strategic action in areas with the highest payoff. Consistency compounds your results over time, allowing even small actions to snowball into significant wealth. Whether it's reinvesting dividends, compounding returns on your investments, or nurturing profitable client relationships, consistent action builds momentum that adds up. Think of it this way. If you consistently direct your time, money, and energy toward the small number of things that really matter, the rewards grow exponentially. Your 20% starts to yield even more, creating a ripple effect that ultimately contributes to sustained wealth and financial security. The 80-20th rule isn't about shortcuts or magic formulas. It's about understanding where to focus your efforts for maximum payoff. It's about cutting out the fluff and drilling down into the few things that make a real difference in your financial life. When you apply this principle to wealth building, you're not only simplifying your strategy, you're positioning yourself for massive growth and long-term financial independence. So, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you keep grinding away at every task that comes your way, or will you take a hard look at your financial life, identify your 20%, and go all in on what truly matters? The choice is yours, and it could mean the difference between chasing wealth endlessly and actually achieving it. Take the first step today, streamline your focus, and watch as your efforts multiply in ways you never thought possible.